Hi guys, I wanted to give you a little bit of information about PebbleGo. I think it's a really quality resource and it's really something I'd like to see our school invest in. Libraries tend to be going in different directions right now. We have more resources online. And I know that a lot of people are against kids spending time on screens. However, I think especially for research and looking at those nonfiction, that we might want to reconsider just for this purpose. I'm not recommending we give kids a lot of time on various programs, but I do think with regard to nonfiction reading that a lot of their nonfiction reading can be done online and it's going to give them supports. Remembering that when we decide to put kids on an app, they can say they want to do research and you can decide, if I want only this phonics program, if I want only this research program, we can lock that iPad so the kids must remain inside of the app that we have told them they can be on. The advantage over something like this, over a book, is that it does have a read aloud function. It is designed specifically for children to do this kind of research. The site that we're looking at here is probably one of the best known for small children. This is PebbleGo. PebbleGo has one database that is earmarked just for early years up through second grade, and one that will go to upper elementary. I'm going to look particularly here at PebbleGo. If we look at the databases provided, it is earmarked for children and the kinds of things that interest them that they might want to learn about or do research about. And we see animals, science, biographies, social studies, and health. I know a lot of this also links with what is going on inside of our curriculum at Montessori. We see a lot of emphasis on the social sciences. We see a lot of emphasis really on all of these, but on sciences, animals, biographies. I see a lot of kids showing interest in these areas, and we're going to look at that right now. I want to point out, again, this is made for children to navigate. We see picture navigation. Everything is going to be guided by a picture, so even if a child cannot read, they can find their way through it up and down. We see here is telling them this is about animals, this is science, biographies, and that's how they navigate. So when we come here, if they decide animals being probably the most popular database, we'll go inside of here and we see all this information. Again, when I hover over a picture, child doesn't need to be able to read it. The picture
amphibians
and the reading lets them know what that article will be about. I thought had a nice section, and I know a lot of kids, because we spend so much time in our yard, ask me a lot of questions about insects, collect insects, and we want to be able to help them deepen their understanding of those things that they have a natural interest in. So if we look inside of insects, we're going to see a lot of the things that they're going to see outside. They're hearing the cicadas. They're seeing the bumblebees. We see praying mantises. I know I'm seeing these in my yard. I see painted ladies flying around all the time. We see monarchs. These are all things that they see outside. So if we wanted to go inside of cicadas and learn more about these cicada casings and everything, we see it laid out by section, tabs, and in the library I can teach them how to use these things, but it's so the layout is really so beautifully done. It's going to help children to find their way all by themselves, very little assistance. So if we click on body,
cicadas are insects. They are 1 to 2 inches, 2.5 to 5 centimeters long. Cicadas walk on 6 legs. They use their 4 wings to fly. Most are dark in color.
Okay, and we see word by word it's highlighted. That is helping kids to see those sight words, those other things that we are teaching them. It's backing up the phonics and all of these kinds of skills, and reading in a nice, slow human voice. That's not a machine you're hearing. That is a human being reading that, so that kids can learn the proper flow of language. It will go into their habitat. It will tell about food, life cycle, all of these things, and a section on fun facts. If we go down to the bottom, for children that are a little bit older, it's going to show them how they can start to cite those things. Important that they understand that the importance of letting people know where you got your information from. In this world we live in, doubly important that people know what sources can be trusted. It can actually be printed out as an article if a child wants to take it home to show it to mom and dad. There are activity sheets. So here it is going to allow the child, again, if you print it out, to write in exactly, you know, where the wings are, all of these kinds of things. Okay, and come back here, share what you know. Again, maybe for some of your older kids, we can make a picture of a cicada here. We're looking at what it looks like on the iPad. The favorite thing I learned, a fact about each section. What did we learn about body, habitat? All of this, helping kids learn how to do their own research with very little support from adults. Okay. I go back to this picture navigation.
Insects.
This allows kids to make their way back on their own. We'll go through it in library. If we decide to purchase it, I can help them in the afternoons in open library. Or, like I said, again, I think it's something that a lot of kids are going to be able to pick up pretty quickly and easily. They can type in if they're looking for something in specific, but in general, I see most kids using it in this fashion. For our upper elementary, we are going to see these topics being a lot more thorough, going into a lot more depth. In our school, I see a lot of information on Indigenous people. This has a large database for that. Again, we can go into social studies and science as well. States, I know inside of the Montessori, these sorts of topics are huge. So if we go inside and look at Indigenous people, we might choose to go in here and all the Indian tribes that are in that region. And it is now a much longer article, and it flows all the way through. You can still use your tabs, and we still have videos on the bottom, timelines that are very helpful. These videos are made for young people. We see this is only about 40 seconds, and that is an appropriate length. A lot of kids can get very lost in videos, so they're very careful about how much. I think I forgot to point that out for PebbleGo. For the early elementary, it is still has videos. Those videos are only about 15 seconds in length. See the timeline. Okay, it'll give terminology and dictionaries, very helpful when we're trying to give reports that we're using academic vocabulary and learning that kind of thing. So this is just a quick run through of some of the things that I think makes it a really superior product for our school. It's a little bit of money, but I think most schools you're going to find, and most libraries, are moving away from a lot of the nonfiction on these kinds of things and moving towards finding information. It tends to be much more up to date. You're going to find better things for our children and for their age levels. It's also skills they're going to need as they, at some point, they leave our school. This sort of research is expected of them. So I hope that you like it. I hope that you agree with me that it can be something that will be very valuable for us. So, okay, thank you very much for listening.